How do you two know each other?
Donna, go back to the TARDIS.
Huh?
Go back to the TARDIS.
You never tell me to do that.
Oh, but he is recognizing me. Are you not get pleased, Herr Doctor? To see me again after so many years.
Who is he?
The toy maker. We meet again, Doctor.
So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, people of all different sexualities and orientations, welcome back to another Doctor Who review. Hello, ladies and gents. By the accent, you can already tell what episode of Doctor Who we are reviewing today. Yes, we are reviewing the latest, and might I just say, one of the greatest stories Russell T Davies has ever written. Yes, that's right, the Giggle. But before we proceed, might I just quickly indulge you in a spoiler warning. Yes, that's right, if you ain't watched this already and you're watching it, scroll away, come off the video, don't even go into it, don't dandy around, don't beat around the bush, you got that, so yeah, you've been warned. But without further ado, let's get right into the review. So let's start off with a little bit of history for you. The Toy Maker. The Toy Maker was a character that first aired back in 1966 in a story called The Celestial Toy Room. The Toy Maker is known for playing games with his opponents and his rivals and his enemies. And when they lose, he turns them into toys. His first appearance in 1966 was against William Hartnell's Doctor, the very first incarnation we meet. The Toy Maker back then is played by the brilliant Michael Gove, who goes on to become Alfred Pennyworth in Batman, for all you keen film watchers. But how powerful is the Toy Maker, you may be asking? Well, he's pretty powerful. He didn't only make people that lost his games into toys, he also made them play the game against his new opponents, in which they would do their best to make sure that they didn't succeed. This is shown in the original story when Stephen and Dodo come into conflict with two clowns, which play a game of hopscotch. But the one thing, the Toy Maker doesn't like cheating, so he punishes the clowns, and so the game proceeds. So now that we got you caught up with the history of the Toy Maker, let's get into the Giggle. John Lukey Bard was a inventor in the year 1924 who was the first man to come up with the television. He didn't only just come up with the television, but he used a puppet named Stooky Bill to see if his invention was possible. In the story of the Giggle, we're taken back to 1924, but in this shape of events, John Lukey Barnes' assistant goes to the toy shop and buys Stooky Bill. Stooky Bill is then put in front of the camera and slowly begins to set alight as the Toy Maker takes advantage of this and starts to lay his trap for the Doctor throughout history and for the human race, driving them all, as the Doctor says, driving them all insane. After discovering the Giggle by Stooky Bill, the Doctor decides to investigate where Stooky Bill's origin begins, to which he learns of John Lukey Bard creating his image throughout history on the very first television. But, as all puppets have, they have a puppet master. So the Doctor starts to get a feeling that something is coming back from his past. And lo and behold, when he lands in 1924, who's waiting for him but the toy maker in the Mr. Emporium toy shop? The toy maker at first rambles on about, the first game ever invented is da ball, Yes, the ball. This, ladies and gents, keep in mind, is very important for later on. So, the Doctor and Donna constantly catching balls, not knowing whether one is real or one is fake, chuck it to the side as the toy maker rambles on. But then the Doctor looks him in the eye and starts to realise that he recognises him. And that's when all the memories start flashing back from all those years ago, when his first incarnation came across the character. And so he decides to pursue the toy maker, hoping to stop him before the chaos continues. After some creepy turns and moves throughout the toy maker's dimension, the Doctor and Donna come to a room in which the toy maker begins to mock the Doctor's adventures, going on about the Doctor's companions after he left Donna Noble. First, there was beautiful Amy Pond, who got touched by a weeping angel and died. And then there was, there was Clara, sweet Clara, but then she died by a bird. And then there was Bill Potts, killed by the Cybermen. And so the Doctor replies each time to the toy maker's taunts, trying not to give in to anger as the toy maker plays around with the Doctor's emotions. So, to cut off what the toy maker is going on about, the Doctor decides to challenge him to a game. I've lost, Doctor. We can play again. So, the Doctor and the toy maker sit opposite one another and play a card game. The Doctor loses, but then states to the toy maker that the game is not fully over yet. After all, it's 1-1, to which the toy maker jokingly responds, yes, best of 3, Doctor. And so our chase continues as the Doctor and Donna run out of Mr. Emporium toy shop, and the whole shop condenses down into a small wooden box. We arrive back in unit, and after the box being left dormant at one of the desks, madly, out of nowhere and out of splendor, the toy maker begins a whole dance routine, mocking our group of soldiers and scientists and companions to the Doctor. The Doctor immediately warns them not to fire, but they don't listen, and so, out of their own arrogance, 2 soldiers are turned into bouncy balls, and the guns start firing rose petals as the song continues, until Eventually, the Toymaker makes his grand exit. The Doctor runs out onto the helipad as soon as he begins to hear a ringing bell, only to discover that the Toymaker is sitting upon the gun, turreted and facing the unit headquarters. The Doctor offers the Toymaker a chance. He offers him a life other than the destruction and chaos in which he wishes to pursue. But the Toymaker, out of his own greed for his own enjoyment, claims that he wants to make the whole world his game. But the Doctor won't let that happen, so he runs up to the weapon. As the Toymaker strikes him down, he causes the Doctor to regenerate, but not in the way that you may expect. Oh no, my friends, because the Doctor begins to split into two. That's right, one becomes two. The Doctor meets his new incarnation of himself as they both face down against the Toymaker to defeat him in one final game. Make your last move, Doctor. Make your last move. And so the Doctor's claim to the Toymaker that despite there being two of them, the rules of the game still apply. And so they challenge him to a game of ball, which they run around catching the ball, but trying to chuck it off the edge to throw the Toymaker off his game. Both Doctors have great attempts, but one Doctor manages to throw it so far at the Toymaker's hand that the Toymaker just misses the ball. And so they banish him once and for all. After the regeneration, both Doctors decide that they both can't be running around the universe together. But one of the Doctors, the newest incarnation of the Doctor, becomes to a solution. He remembers that the Toymaker's realm is still lingering around the place, so he decides to break the TARDIS into two. This way, the other Doctor that will remain on Earth will not feel like he is trapped, and can still go off on his occasional adventures. But it is time for him to hang up the hat and let the next generation of the Doctor move forward as the story continues. And so we are left with this beautiful, yes, I say beautiful, Doctor. Yes, that's right. You're the Dr. Ncuti Gatwa. You are the Doctor. And so that's where the Giggle ends, with Ncuti, the Doctor, running around the console unit, getting ready for another dazzling, no, amazing adventure that lays ahead. Quick little honourable mention before I wrap up this Doctor Who review. Neil Patrick Harris, you were phenomenal. You know, for a guy that says that he can't dance, bellissimo. You can do card tricks, you can do puppetry. Mate, I feel like you could do a full entendre and your own circus show all in one. So, well done. And I really hope this is not the last time we see you in Doctor Who. So, yeah, that's a little mention for you. Yeah. So now we get to the final part of this video. Did the Giggle do good, or was it a bit of a meh? Well, I think it's a bit obvious from the way that I've gone on about it, but this was absolutely incredible. The story was captivating. It was never a dull moment. Everything drew you in, whether it was fan service, explanations for where the Toymaker came from, what had happened to previous characters such as the Master. He became a tooth. But besides the point, the way that the story is told and the way that it was handled was brilliant. I thought that from the first second of going into this story that I knew exactly what the problem was, what the challenge was, I was sorely mistaken. It had so many twists, so many turns, and for that reason, I have to give the Giggle a 10 out of 10. Yes, that's right, my friends, another 10 out of 10. Beautiful, absolutely brilliant. Hope you guys have enjoyed, and we will see you in the next Doctor Who review. Stay beautiful, you beautiful people.